All right. Here we are, back to it for another reading post episode post episode 8. Welcome back to another reading at the Barrow, supplemental to episode 8. Mum and I have just had a lovely discussion about our bodies and our shame.
Yes, it was awful.
It was kind of awful. I wonder how that episode will go. I wonder how it will land with people, because it was sort of I don't know.
Oh, I would imagine it resonate quite well with people.
Yeah, I'm trying to think
Everyone goes through those things.
Yeah, of course. I'm trying to think of where it was that I read, that if the people on the street could stop blowing the fucking car horn, that would be great. Trying to do some work in here. Well, I was trying to think of where I read that kind of more honest, frank is the word I was looking for, description of male. It was a Christos Tsiolkas. I reckon it was The Jesus Man. I think it was his second novel.
Okay.
I believe.
Yeah.
I'd like to do some additional episodes. I don't know where to situate them. I think I want to do them on the Substack about sort of deep diving more into literature, into stuff that I'm really invested in,
Yeah.
where my own practice comes out of, and also
That's influenced your thinking.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I would like over time, when you and I have completed this project, I've got some ideas for where I want to take the Substack, which is really in the direction of my own writing. Some novels that I'm working on currently in the background that have had to sort of be put on hold while we do this. Yeah, I'm really interested in that. Oh my God. Just a moment, everybody.
Oh, dear.
What's happening now? Never a dull moment with when Kingsley's around. He's been...
He was wanting to come in, but now he's not coming in.
No. And before, after he'd settled in here and we'd closed the door, he wanted then to go out.
Yeah.
So...
What's he doing?
He's right there.
Oh, he's right in the doorway. Oh.
I hope we got that. We definitely got that. All right. Well, I thought I'd read from this chapter of yours.
Right.
Yeah. Well, hello, Kingsley. Do you want to be on the show?
No, he's just going to look at
peering out into the garden. But he's very loud today. He's very vocal. All right, pal. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Nope.
I'll see if I can shoo him. Go on. Go away.
He's got contributions to make.
He does. He does. Well, he has a story to tell.
Absolutely.
So this is going to be good. Should I try and find the whole thing of that? Or maybe I'll put that in the post.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's reference to a poem forthcoming. Okay?
Yeah.
Here we go. I am becoming a well-rounded young lady.
Oh, really?
That's how you've chosen to start this off with.
Yeah.
I'm becoming a well-rounded young lady. From the outset of my time at St. Barnacles, not the name of Deborah's convent, I begin formal piano lessons with the goal of completing an AMEB exam each year. What does AMEB stand for? Australian Music?
Australian Music Educational Board?
Something like that.
Maybe?
I also began taking elocution lessons.
Yes, that was the thing to do, according to my mother.
Performing.
I don't know where she got these ideas from. Where did she get them from?
Her ideas come from a very contrived, almost marketed sense of womanhood and
sense of what was right, but she didn't have those things herself, or she did learn the piano though.
But she wanted them, apparently, which is where I think that is the driver for a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
Is her desire. Her not so much her desire, but her feelings of insecurity and insecurity and thinking, oh, I would have, if only I had this in my arsenal.
Yeah, and that thinking that they were the proper things to do.
I also began taking elocution lessons, performing at the speech competitions inside the local theatre, where I recite The Plaint of the Camel by Charles Edward Carroll. And here's a little excerpt.
I can't remember any of it. I know it, but I don't remember it.
A snake is as round as a hole in the ground, and weasels are wavy and sleek. Oh my God, there's a weevil at the door. He's going to dig up the carpet today. A snake is as round as a hole in the ground, and weasels are wavy and sleek, and no alligator could ever be straighter than lizards that live in a creek. But a camel's all lumpy and bumpy and humpy. Any shape does for me.
You recited it very well. I think I did with much glee.
Thanks to Chuck, Mr. Carroll, for writing that one. Who is Charles Edward Carroll?
No
I don't know
idea.
him. Yeah. I'm learning that everything in life must have an outcome. I practice the piano to pass the exams.
Yes.
I take the elocution lessons to perform at the recitals.
Yes, and I'm dressed appropriately.
At all these encounters,
yes.
at these events. My mother's fastidiousness with regard to our home is nothing shy of extraordinary during this time. Everything must match. From the china to the linen to the flowers.
That's why I wanted to put my scarf back on, because it matched my top.
Everything must match, from the china to the linen to the flowers. A chair cannot be out of place, nor a magazine left lying on the coffee table. She is so strict that it becomes a problem to have visitors to the house. Visitors must be expected, and the whole experience must be curated. People say, "Oh, drop by any time," my mother laments. Well, that's not genuine. If you want people to visit, you have to set a date and time.
A formal invitation.
That's right.
Which must be responded to.
That's correct. I'm just going to leave it open because he's gone nuts out there. My mother's constant adherence to the very particular ways in which things are done is astonishing. Everything at home, to the way we three conduct ourselves, has to be just so. She is of the belief that how we present ourselves marks out our place in the world. We do things this way. We do things the right way. That's just us. More and more is the talk of we. I hear nothing of I. I learn that individual freedoms are possible, but only in relation to the family unit. What you do, what the I does, is always for the collective, always for we.
Yes.
From we dally to we singly.
Well, translate that to what I'm experiencing at the moment with my father's appointments. Now, we have this on this week, don't we?
We have the eye specialist
Yeah.
tomorrow, don't we?
No,
you do.
And I'm taking you.
Yes.
It's as simple as that. It's as simple and as complex as that.
One is the loneliest number. We is a fucking nightmare, though.
Absolutely.
I still hide during lunchtimes at school, only I have exchanged the toilet block for the music rooms, a series of soundproof rooms at the back of the music house. The music house is a grand old house separate to the other buildings in the convent, with 2 large bay windows at the front and a flight of stairs leading up to the main door. Its main teaching room, where I take piano lessons, is to the right of the entrance. Inside there is a musty smell. It is untidy and cluttered, with stacks of music books all around, and there is a large table in the centre for theory instruction. The sister who takes me for my lessons sits with her heavy wooden rosary beads around her waist and her back to the bay window, and from where I sit on the piano stool I can see out onto the schoolyard.
The piano is angled into the corner. So you've got the bay window.
No, I'm not sighing at you.
I'm right
saying,
there.
You're right there.
And then,
Well, I'm glad your own writing evokes something for you. Like,
and then an enormous window that looks out on play areas.
okay, all right.
And this nun is still wearing the older
What kind
habit.
of nuns are they?
They're mercy nuns, and she is still with the very long black robes.
Didn't you? The tight.
The tight.
Is it
No, I don't know the names of things.
Yeah.
I think she eventually does change to the newer one.
I thought you had
over
Benedictine
time.
nuns.
No.
They're in brown, aren't they? Benedictine. Is that? Am I saying that right?
Yeah, I think you might be thinking of Josephites.
Oh, okay, right. Maybe I am. Yeah,
I think
I'm a
Dad
bit...
might have had those.
Ah, okay.
I think so. No, I had the mercy nuns.
Okay. Right. Well, the piano here has been wedged into another corner, and we're still not playing it, by the way. We have a piano taking up half the house, but Deborah doesn't play it.
The piano is with us everywhere, isn't it? And in my mind.
I could take an axe to every piano I see. Gladly. Anyway.
That's not true.
At lunchtimes, when I don't have lessons and have come inside to avoid playtime and the other students... Just let me read that again. At lunchtimes, when I don't have lessons and have come inside to avoid playtime and the other students, I usually practice the piano. I'm trying to prepare myself for upcoming exams. I have come to believe that if you practice something, then you can become good at it, and then you can achieve. Much like there's an outcome for everything. I have come to believe in diligence and excellence. I believe that once you make a commitment to something, then it's all or nothing. I have come to believe that once something starts, it's forever.
Well, you certainly don't give up the piano halfway through and just do grade 3, for goodness sake.
And yet all my attempts at self-mastery appear to lead nowhere. My piano playing, my elocution lessons, they do nothing. I remain so shy and so nervous that I can't so much as enter a corner shop to purchase a bottle of milk when asked to by my mother. I wet the bed constantly.
Yes.
Our GP refers my parents and I to some people who have come to town with the latest methods.
It sounds like that when those people rolled into town.
Seriously, the way you have described it to me and the way I've edited it,
Yes.
they sound like carnies. They
Yes.
sound like people around, festivals and travelling with the circus.
Banging a drum or shaking a tambourine. I've got a cure for bedwetting.
They're the people
It
who come
was
to
not
town with the
right.
circus and set up the tent, Our GP refers my parents and I to some people who have come to town with the latest methods to cure this issue. My parents have been using a plastic sheet over my blanket to protect the mattress, but we are now sent for a consultation with the, quote, specialists who are, for some reason, operating out of a motel room on the outskirts of town. Does this sound proper to any... This sounds so sus. You went to a motel room on the outskirts of town to meet these people.
I've stayed at that motel recently.
we go and they show my parents and I what we're to do. What a meeting.
It's sounds
Go to the
like-
motel on the outskirts of town. There's a few people there who have a board, a contraption to stop your daughter from pissing the bed. I mean, it just... No wonder you're damaged.
It's hideous, isn't it?
Instead of plastic sheets, I'm now to have a rubber board underneath my sheet attached to an electronic bell. The problem, these people say, is that I sleep too deeply. And so when I begin to wet the bed, the bell will go off and I will wake up. It is to train me to wake up before I start wetting the bed. It is called a wee alert alarm. In addition...
It was very popular at that time.
In addition to the bell, however, it wasn't. I looked it up. I'll put that in the post as well. It's terrifying. In addition to the bell, however, my parents and I assume the practice of measuring my patches of wee, their size and diameter. I mean, there's a fun family activity, right? There's a bonding exercise, if ever I've heard of one. The idea is that I will start off with big patches, and by the end, once I am waking up better and faster, the patches will decrease in size. After each bedwetting episode, I must measure the patch and write it down.
I think that was all part of the process. I don't think that's just
My
parents.
bedwetting and engagement with the wee alert alarm precludes me from attending sleepovers. My
Yes.
parents are concerned by these kinds of social activities, and I am too afraid to go anyway. I don't trust my body. I become terrified to go to bed. Each night I worry over whether I will wake up in time and what the size of my patch will be.
I can't imagine.
Are you glad you paid?
I can't imagine the level of stress attached to that. I can't.
I can, and it explains you.
Yeah.
It's so neurotic. It's
And
so
does that
devastating.
explain, excuse me, I'm getting into bodily functions again. Does that explain
Oh,
why
God.
I have to really empty myself out? You know,
Before anything.
before anything.
Yeah, of course. I don't think you trust yourself.
Mm.
Now we've got a lovely cat in the studio who's just a
know.
lovely dozy
He's
boy.
just calming
He's
down.
just a perfect little boy right now.
He's had quite a busy morning, I think.
He gets very agitated around wee time.
Yes. You see?
This is on trend. The cat has started recently, Kingsley. I don't really know why, but it's like he doesn't know where the litter box is anymore. And he's not going around the house and going in places he shouldn't be going. He's simply not going and can't find the litter box. It's not there. It doesn't exist to him anymore. And so now a new operation has occurred where after dinner, I pick him up and carry him to his litter box and very gently guide his face and forepaws into the box.
Yes.
And he goes, oh, this is a place I can go. Thank you. I don't know what's happening. It's
know
like
what that
amnesia
is.
all of a sudden.
Yes, because he was finding it before.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yes.
nearly there.
Oh.
I'm making progress, however.
Making progress.
You wrote it. I am making progress, however, when one morning I discover only a small patch and decide not to record it. Devious, deception.
Devious, immoral.
But listen to what you write. You write, I want to succeed.
Oh.
Isn't that sad? I want to succeed to be free of the wee alert alarm. The patch is so small that it hasn't even been big enough to trigger the bell, so why spoil this chance at a good record? I get up quickly and whisk the sheets away, then hide them by putting them in with the other dirty clothes in the wash.
Yes, spoiling the record. You see, obviously I was getting better, and then, say a week had gone by and, oh, look, there's nothing to record. So I think that was a little regression. I thought, oh no.
I get up quickly and whisk the sheets away, then hide them by putting them in with the other dirty clothes in the wash. Alas, they are discovered in the laundry when my mother goes to load the washing machine. She is gravely disappointed in me. She seems disappointed by both my treacherous, deceitful behaviour, as well as by the fact there has been yet another bedwetting mishap. Nearly had a good record. My father gives me a lecture on always telling the truth. Quote, there can be no deceptions between family members, he tells me. We do not try to conceal things from one another in this house. End quote.
I just feel weighed down listening to that.
Last line. And this I thought was very funny from you. I am almost sent away to boarding school, but one of the Sisters of Mercy reminds my parents, quote, no matter how good the school, it cannot replace the home environment. End quote. I mean, would you...
That sums it up.
That I found that so funny. The irony of like, no matter how good the school, nothing can replace the home. And that is sort of so true of the both of us. We got great education, but nothing compared to the lessons we learned here that really dictated the life forever after.
That weighed us down forever.
Which is I just thought that was such a funny line to end on.
Yeah, quite ironic.
Because she has no idea what. But, you know...
I wonder, that's another sliding door moment, I think.
Would boarding school have saved you, you know? I mean, you were already having so much trouble.
Would I have grown up a bit and found a voice, or would I have just been weighed down by that experience?
Yeah, it could have been. It could have been the thing that ruined you in a way. You don't really know. I mean, you can't know, of course, but certainly the trying to get a good record. I have to say, as an anecdote, away from the main podcast, your mother, her desire for perfection. Speaking of wanting to get a good record and AMEB exams, I broke my arm. I was in year 7 or 8 at school, I can't remember, but broke my arm
a bit
in school.
Older than that, yeah.
Well, 7 or 8.
Yeah.
Broke my arm, and that week I actually had a music exam. I think it was piano, I can't remember, but the school called my home because I had broken my arm quite badly at playtime, and I was waiting for an ambulance to take me to the hospital. And the school called. My grandmother answered the phone, and they told her what had happened, and her first words out of her mouth, she said, no, that can't possibly be true. He has a piano exam on Wednesday. And the person was so shocked by this, like they came back and relayed it to me because they were so put out. They went, well, no, I'm telling you, he has broken his arm here. And she went, oh, for goodness sake, and was inconsolable. She just started breaking down over the phone. Not about my arm, about the exam that was being missed. The teacher came, and there was a huddle of like teachers around me.
Yes.
I got moved, and I had my arm, I was holding it, waiting for the ambulance to arrive.
And meanwhile, they'd contacted me, and I was on my way to the hospital.
And I was, in terrible pain. No, but this is just before that. This is like the mechanisms just before that. I'm not in an ambulance yet. I'm not.
No.
And the teachers, in the huddle, I can hear what they're saying. And this guy's like, I just called the home, and like I got the grandmother, and she only cares about. And then he sort of pops his head out and he said, Toby, do you have an exam or something this week? Is there some important thing? And I was like, yes, I'm pale and yes, I have my piano exam on Wednesday. And he's like, yeah, your grandmother's really disappointed that you're not going to be able to do it. And I'm like, oh, and I'm there in agony and I'm riding the guilt. Oh, I've let everyone down. I get to hospital. She comes up to me. Oh, what a shame. Had you, this could have happened a few days from now or next week. We can't have our exam. Well, it'll have to be next year. Oh. That's what she does at the side of the bed. And I'm like, okay. Like, she can't be held back from that and from letting you know, and there's no counterbalancing it.
No.
There's nothing
No.
from you or my grandfather saying, hey, this is the last thing on our minds. Hello. We're not talking about that to him now. She's full-throated with it. Yeah. And I'm just there injured and now just guilty, going, I'm lying in hospital with a broken arm going, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, maybe I can move my fingers actually, maybe I can.
Yeah, it's pretty unbelievable.
It's funny because for us, this was like a funny anecdote for a long time. Like I used to joke about it. Now I don't find it funny at all. I still, don't get me wrong, I still get the humour in it. It is funny, but it's funny like in a movie.
It's indicative of something else, and really there are so many instances like that that we have laughed about.
And they're uncanny moments.
But they really point to something else.
But when you go back in time, it's like, well, this is something that you would see in a film, in a comedy.
Yes.
But life isn't a comedy movie.
Yeah.
Like that works in the context of a comedy movie because it's so out of line with reality. That's why it's funny, because no one would do that.
No.
That's why it's funny. No one would do it. But for us, we learned to laugh about all this stuff because there was someone doing it all the time. And it's like...
Yes.
But I have to... Of course, I always locate the humour in my writing and in your writing. I want the humour to come through because it's so bizarre that it has to be played for laughs.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're just going to get down in the dumps.
Yes.
And that's where your sense of humour comes from, is to protect yourself. But I have to say, there is a part of me that's just fucking outraged. Like, when I think about that now, I'm like, oh, that's sick. Yeah. Like, that's just fucking sick. And like, you shouldn't get exposed to that. That sucks.
Yep. Well, there are many occasions like that.
Many, many, many.
Yep.
Stay tuned for many, many more.
For many, many more.
And thank you so much for subscribing. We really appreciate it.
Yep.
See you next week. Bye.